Hi, I'm Zuri, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that a lot of you probably can relate to, and that is weight loss. I know a lot of you probably are ready to get that body snatched because the summer's coming and you want to just be looking good and looking, good in all your tight clothes and just looking amazing and feeling great. When I was younger, I used to love the summertime, but as I've gotten older, it's kind of dreadful for me, especially after when you gain a ton of weight. It's like you just, in the wintertime, it's a good opportunity for you to just pile on more clothes and try to cover things up. But in the summer, you don't have that luxury of just piling on a lot of clothes and wearing jackets and things like that. I'm self-conscious about my arms, which is why I always have jackets on in my videos, because I don't like the way my arms look when they're the way that they look now. So in the summertime, you have to think about the heat. So you want to wear more skirts and dresses and shorts. And if you're like me and you feel self-conscious about being overweight, it might not be that fun as it is, if you're slimmer. So in today's video, I'm just gonna share with you my journey, my weight loss journey, my personal weight loss journey, and hopefully inspire someone. And hopefully someone will share their story with me, inspire me with some weight loss tips. So I'm going to just start out. I have a little outline that I'm going through. And I want to talk about first losing weight. Some people that are overweight or heavy or thick, whatever you want to call it, they're comfortable with it, with themselves. They feel good about it, and that's good. If that's you and you're happy with how you are, this video is not for you. This video is for people that want to lose weight and they aren't happy with the way that they look, and they would feel better if they lost a few pounds, whether it's 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I would like to lose 100 pounds personally because that's how much weight I've gained in the past couple of years. So I'm going to start out with talking about me, myself. I've been overweight most of my life, ever since I was a kid. And I have 5 siblings. Out of the 5, I was the most overweight, which was really hard, or the only overweight one. All of my other siblings were skinny. They're all thin. My mom was overweight. So I take after my mom the most. And it was just something I got teased a lot about from my siblings. I didn't really get bullied that much about it in school that much. I got bullied more for being poor and weird. But when I got older, I did start to see people would just tease me and make comments and and things like that, and it was really hard, especially when my sister that's a year older than me, we look a lot alike. She was slimmer than me and people would compare us to each other and say that I should try to lose weight and be like my sister and stuff like that. So it was pretty tough dealing with that. But by the time I was around 10 years old, I was already like 110 pounds. I remember being weighed at the doctor. And then my weight just continuously started to, just the number just started going up and up and up. And I think by the time, I must have gained a ton of weight, like between 11 and 12. Because I remember when I was a teenager, by the time I was like 12 or 13, maybe I was 13. I'm trying to remember because it was a long ago. I remember I was close to 200 pounds at some point. And when I was younger, when I got into high school, I started trying to lose weight more. I started to walk a lot. I started taking diet pills. I actually even started to develop bulimia a little bit. I didn't do it a lot, but I did start. I think I got it from my older sister because I'm trying to think, how did I get that? I am from the hood. I'm from the south side of Chicago in the ghetto. And it's not really something really big that you hear people talking about, is eating disorders and things like that. But maybe I got it from TV or something. I don't know. But my older sister did come out and tell me that she did. My sister, she's 11 years older than me. She did come out and tell me that she did have bulimia She would make herself throw up after eating. So I did that for a little while. Not very long because I hated vomiting. I used to use the syrup of Ipecac, and I hated the way it tasted. I hated that. I just hated it. It was just, it didn't feel good at all. So I think that after that, that's when I started to use diet pills, a lot of them. I became obsessed with. I'm surprised that I lived because I used to take so many of them, and I was probably like 13. I think that's when I started taking them, when I was around 13 years old, between 13 and 14. And I also started to walk a lot. I walked like, oh my God, how many miles every day? Many. It had to be like 6 miles a day or something. It was a lot. I walked a lot. I walked all around the south side of Chicago just for exercise, to lose weight, because I didn't want to be fat anymore. I didn't really know how to eat right. My mom didn't really buy healthy foods. We ate a lot of junk food growing up, a lot of processed food, drank a lot of sodas and things like that. And I was obsessed with Pepsi. I was obsessed with candy bars. And I was just obsessed with junk food. I remember when I was a teenager, I told myself, I was probably like 14 years old. I told myself that when I grew up, I was going to just have Pepsi and Snickers and Doritos in my refrigerator and nothing else. And I was dead ass serious. That's what I wanted because that's what I was used to eating. I grew up in where I'm from on the south side of Chicago. There's restaurants everywhere. Just literally everywhere, across from each other, right next to each other. Just, you have three things in the hood. You have churches, you have liquor stores, and then you have restaurants. And that's all that you see all around the neighborhood. And, you have even people who used to sell candy, penny candy out of their houses. So you would, have that too, on top of all the restaurants and stores. People would sell candy, and then you have the ice cream trucks, and just so much. It was everywhere. Junk food everywhere. I never grew up eating fresh vegetables or fruits or anything like, maybe fresh fruit we did have, but we used to always eat vegetables in a can, and I never really ate a lot of fresh things growing up. And I remember a lot of kids where I'm from used to eat candy in the morning before school. And at lunch, they would even have cookies and things they would sell during lunch. They would give us like chocolate milk to drink with our lunch too. So it's just crazy now as an adult looking back at that and then wondering, why I was so overweight. So yeah, I dealt with that. I'm trying to not be too long-winded on this because there's a lot that I want to cover. But when I was a teenager, I started to lose some weight because I was always walking everywhere. I didn't have a car. I couldn't really keep a car. As a teenager and a young adult, my cars kept breaking down. And I just got used to walking everywhere. And I have ADHD. It's something I talk about because it's a part of who I am. So I have a hard time sitting in one spot for a long time. Or waiting. So if I'm at a bus stop, and a bus doesn't come for like 10 minutes, I would immediately walk to another one. It's hard for me to just sit there for 10 minutes and just wait for another bus. So I would walk and keep walking and walking and walking. And I walked a lot, and it helped me. I started losing weight. I slimmed down a little bit. But I still was never thin. I slimmed down a lot, though. And when I was probably around 18 years old, this guy gave me a book at one of my jobs about plant-based eating. And it was talking about, they never said veganism, but I guess it's kind of the same thing, except veganism is more about, someone was calling me, but I decided not to answer. Veganism is more about animals and animal cruelty and things like that. I think plant-based is just more about health, the health aspect of it. So I read this book, and it really inspired me to become plant-based, which I did for probably about 3 months. I didn't have any dairy at all, just a lot of grains, And I probably didn't do it right because I wasn't getting enough protein. Over time, no, I think I did it for about 6 months because it was a while. It was actually my first year that I went to college too that I did it. No, I did it again. Maybe I did it twice because I did it again when I was in college. And after a while, I just started to feel extremely tired. So tired and exhausted all the time. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't want to get out of bed. I just felt like crap. I started feeling depressed. I started just feeling horrible. I went to see a nutritionist, and the nutritionist told me that I had an eating disorder. She told me I had bulimia because I did take diet pills, and she told me that that was an eating disorder, which I had never thought diet pills was an eating disorder. I always thought an eating disorder was like anorexia. It's like starving yourself or something like that. Or I didn't know that, they consider diet pills that. But I did take that a lot. They used to put ephedrine in them a long time ago, and I did take those, and they did work a lot. I hardly ever ate anything for a while, and I lost a lot of weight. I got down to like 135 pounds at my slimmest as an adult. That's the smallest I've ever been as an adult. I was very small. I lost my ass and everything. I remember I was walking on the street in Minneapolis, and these black dudes was like, they called me Miss No Booty. There was a song called Miss New Booty. Yeah, they changed the words to Miss No Booty. It was funny because I always had an ass my whole life. And that's another thing that was uncomfortable as a young person, to always have a voluptuous, curvy shape, and having grown men staring at you when you're a child, and having boys touch you all the time. I'm still like traumatized from that to this day. When people touch me, it just bothers me, just because I have memories of people always touching me. I had a very big ass when I was younger. When I got it when I was like 10 years old, I was just big. And boys would just have, I would get harassed all the time. And every time I went to the store, and it got to the point where I didn't even like going to the store anymore because I knew it was going to happen. So that was another thing why I wanted to lose weight so bad, because I didn't want to have the body. I didn't want that anymore. I didn't want that attention anymore. But at the same time, when I was black, there was some black dudes that said Miss No Booty to me. Well, I walked past a squad car. I'll never forget. It was these two white police officers. They were like honking at me and smiling at me. And I made a video about that, about why Kim K doesn't date black men. Because I was telling people a lot of white dudes like slimmer women. And, I got their attention, but the black dudes was like, you have no booty. And they didn't want nothing to do with me. And I'm not saying all, okay? It's just some. There's always an exception to the rule. Everybody's different, but I'm just saying for the vast majority. So anyway, I'm digressing. Let me get back on subject. Yeah, I was very tired and exhausted. They told me that I wasn't getting enough protein. So I started eating all this fake protein, stuff like that. That stuff didn't work. I still didn't feel right. I still felt horrible. And I remember eventually I just started back eating meat again. And I think I started feeling better after I ate meat again. But I did started to gain weight. I started gaining weight before I ate meat, though, because when I was plant-based or vegetarian, whatever you want to call it, I wasn't eating right. I was eating a lot of junk food. You can be a vegan or a vegetarian and still eat a lot of junk. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are healthy, because there is vegan junk food. So I went through that for a while. Then as I got older, I started to lose weight from just eating right. By right, I mean eating like real food, instead of going out to eat all the time, eating junk food. I just started eating real food, and that helped me. I worked at the Minneapolis airport, and that helped me to lose a lot of weight, because when your airports are huge, you're walking around a lot. I was walking a lot. I lost weight just from being at the from working at the airport. And I got really slim after that. I was probably like, slim for me, I was like 150 pounds. So that's small for me. And I remember feeling really good about myself, and just, I felt good at that weight. I looked good. I was definitely getting a lot more attention from guys, but that didn't last very long, because I ended up switching jobs. went from working at the airport. Oh, I was at the airport. I went from working at a bookstore to like a restaurant. And when you're at a restaurant, it's like really hard to be on a diet. You start eating everything that they have. And I remember they had like these corned beef sandwiches that were like this big, pastrami and all of that. And I was, in the beginning, they would let us eat all the mistakes because they would be, training people how to cook the food. And they would just let us take everything home and eat it. And I gained so much weight. And I was a lot closer to the entrance of the airport, so I wasn't getting that same exercise. And I just blew up. And after that, I ended up gaining more weight. And I got in a relationship. When you get in a relationship, sometimes you gain weight. And that happened to me. We definitely used to eat out all the time. And probably was more lazy than I was before. Got another job that required me to sit down a lot. And that was just like, you know, the blow of death right there. Having a job where I'm sitting all the time. I was doing security, so you're just sitting most of the time looking at cameras. You do rounds, but it's not like when you're, cooking or something where you're always on your feet. I was like the first real like sit down job I ever had. So from that, I gained so much weight. I like blew up like really huge. And I didn't end up losing weight again until like after my son was born. But so I ended up gaining a lot of weight from that job and just from having a kid and all of this and that. And then after my son was born, I'm trying to fast forward it up. I ended up using these diet pills that were called Ally. I don't know if you ever heard of that. And I'm not recommending anybody take it or nothing. This is just my experience with it. They did help me to lose a lot of weight. And this is where if you are really squeamish, TMI, you might want to turn and not listen to this. The problem is when you take these diet, they like separate they take all the fat out of you. So you have like oil coming out of your ass. I know that's disgusting, but it's the truth. It's like coming out of you, and you have to keep using the bathroom. Anytime you eat anything with fat in it, it's just gonna go right out of you. So you always have to be using the bathroom all the time. And it wasn't the most pleasant thing. But I lost a lot of weight from taking those diet pills. But I just didn't like the whole experience. It wasn't that bad for me. I heard about some people that had to wear diapers and stuff. Like it wasn't never got to that point, thankfully, because I would have stopped taking it. I'm not gonna walk around with a diaper on just to lose weight. Like, no. But I stopped taking them. And I maintained weight because I had another job where I was busy on my feet all the time. So I was able to maintain it through that. And then I got on medication for ADHD, which if anyone has any experience with that, they know ADHD medications do tend to take your appetite away. So I was fortunate, I guess, to be able to get on that. But, my whole life it's fluctuated. If I got off the medication, then I would gain weight. So I went through that a little while. Then I ended up gaining a ton of weight after I moved to Portland and started cooking. At the Moda Center, I cooked for the Blazers there. And there they had really nice food. And I was just eating this really good food that I, really wasn't used to eating a lot of. I used to make this tenderloin platter. It was so good. But I used to always like eat the ends because, you couldn't put them on a platter. So I didn't like wasting food either. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to eat them. Eventually, those pounds start to pack on from eating that beef. Let me tell you. Yeah, it wasn't nothing nice. So here I was stuck again. I got to like 250 pounds again. At my highest weight after my son was born, I was like 280 pounds. So 285. That was the highest that I ever got to. And a lot of that weight gain because my son was sick and I did a lot of emotional eating. So that's why that happened. But working at the Moda Center, I gained all the weight. And then during the off season, because it is like a seasonal job, I was laid off from work. And I remember going to the library and getting a book about Paleoism. I guess that's what it's called. So I did that for a while. The book really inspired me. I'm always inspired by books. It inspired me to become paleo, which I did. And it was amazing. At first, I was eating like steak all the time because you just eat a lot of meat, pretty much. And you just don't eat grains. You can eat meat, as much meat as you want, pretty much, and vegetables. And you stop eating grains and dairy. And that made me lose a whole bunch of weight. I lost a lot of weight. But I couldn't maintain that because here's TMI again. It does make you get constipated after a while if you're not eating grains. So that was not good for me. So I had to start eating some type of carbohydrate again. So, I continued to do that. Eventually, I didn't gain a lot of weight back when I started eating carbs because I never really went back to eating them completely. I would just eat some. To this day, I really don't eat a lot of rice and beans a lot. But I still eat bread sometimes. And I'll eat it sometimes, just not every day. I started eating whole foods again. And I got a job at where I was cooking whole foods. So that definitely made it easy to lose weight. I remember I was losing so much weight. I started out like 210 at that job, but it was like the food was so healthy. I just started losing weight just from eating healthy food all the time. I stopped drinking pop too. I started drinking sparkling water, something I'd never done in my life, and that made a huge difference. And at first I thought it was disgusting, but eventually I got used to the taste. It is an acquired taste, and I started to like it a lot. So that was good. I also drank a lot of tea, which is something I want to talk about. These teas, I drank this tea, but I drank the caramel apple one. This one, it's Slim Life tea from Yogi. I like the caramel apple one. The blueberry one, not so much, because I don't really like blueberries that much anyway. But that tea and this one, like for energy, because I didn't really drink a lot of coffee. When I drink coffee, I like putting a lot of sugar and milk in it. So tea was good for me because I drink tea. I can just drink tea plain. I don't have to add anything to it. I just like it plain. So that definitely, the teas helped to curb my appetite a lot. And when I was at work, I would just eat like some vegetables and things and drink some tea. The tea would keep me good all day. I don't think I was taking medications at that time where I was drinking the tea. My weight got really down a lot again. Then I ended up going out of town, and I kind of threw out my whole weight loss. Something about going out of town, your inhibitions just go crazy. You throw everything out the window. I was just eating everything, eating beef. I had stopped eating beef, but I started back when I went on vacation. And yeah, when I came back, it was kind of hard to get back into the habit again. So I did gain weight from that. And I'm going to just fast forward this a little bit to gaining a lot of weight. I gained a lot of weight after I got laid off. I got laid off from work in 2019 for my job. And at that point, I decided that I was going to quit drinking and smoking because I was laid off and I was on unemployment. And unemployment isn't the same amount as a regular paycheck. So I was like, cutting things out just for that reason. But for a while, I was doing okay. But I did start to eat a little bit more because when you quit smoking, you do replace it with something else. And I replaced it with eating more junk. And I did gain a lot of weight from that, just from quitting smoking. And when COVID hit, like a year later, it was about a year later, I started gaining weight in the beginning. Then I started to garden. And when I was gardening, I started to lose a lot of weight, like a lot. Because when I was gardening, I wasn't even thinking about food. I became addicted to gardening. It was so fun. And there really wasn't a ton of things to do because everything was closed. And it was a way for me to get outside. I was getting fresh air. I felt like that was helping me build up my immune system just in case something happened. And I lost weight doing gardening. I stopped gardening because with the apartment complex I live in, they didn't care if I was gardening. They said it was okay. But my neighbors started to just annoy me, and I don't know. That's a whole nother video. But they just started to get on my nerve. They started messing with my flowers and killing them and all kind of stuff. So I just gave up that. I fell into a depression again. Everybody's calling me right now. Fell into depression again. eventually last year I went and talked to a doctor about getting on antidepressants. Last fall I did that. That has helped me a lot because before that I didn't even want to get out of bed. I was just so depressed and just so tired. I just felt tired and, you know, horrible. So ever since I've been on those have helped a little bit for me to feel more hopeful about life and everything, getting up. So I started a few weeks ago just eliminating alcohol and things like that from my life. And that's helped me. I also started using meal replacement shakes. These are my two favorite. This one is like plant-based. And this one is not plant-based. It has like grass-fed protein. I like this one more because I think it tastes better. This one has a weird aftertaste. But I just bought two of them because I don't want to be completely vegan. I know I need to have some type of protein. I need amino acids. So that's why I got that. Because I don't want to feel tired. Every time I go vegan or plant-based or something, I feel horrible. I feel so exhausted and tired. So that's why I got that. And that's what I've been doing. And I can't really give you an honest review on these because I am on medication for ADHD. And that does take your appetite away. But it has the same effect as like drinking coffee, or caffeine. So if you drink the teas, it would be similar to that. To give you that, it just to suppress your appetite a little bit, so you're not as hungry. And oh, there's another one I started. This one is good. I did that yesterday. It gave me so much energy because I think it does have caffeine in it because it is supposed to be coffee. That gave me a lot of energy, but it did make me feel a little sick because of the medication I'm on. So I had to mix it with another protein drink today. And it made me feel a little too anxious. That's how I feel. I drink too much coffee. So now that's what I'm doing. I'm going to just do these meal replacements in the daytime. And at night, I just eat like seafood or fat and vegetables for dinner. Doing like pescatarian. Vegan is when you just eat vegetables without without doing dairy. That's what they call it now. Yeah, there's all these different names for stuff. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to just eliminate dairy because I don't really need to. I'm lactose intolerant anyway. But, it's in so many things. So, you can't help but consume a little bit of it sometimes. But I'm trying to not to eat a lot of like cheese and things like that. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. So far, I've lost like 20 pounds in like the past 3 weeks, I would say, just from not drinking the sugary beverages. I stopped drinking lattes and stuff like that. I was addicted to Starbucks lattes. I don't do those anymore. Now I'm just drinking water. And if I do have something, it's just the unsweetened tea. And I put a little bit of agave nectar in it and just drink that, or a little bit of honey in it. But, I'm trying not to even do that. Just doing water, doing these shakes, and eating vegetables. And I need to eat more fruit. And eating a lot of more seafood. And just white meat. And not really eating beef or any red meat. I don't eat pork anyway. So I stopped eating that like over 10 years ago. So I'm just trying. My goal is just to lose 100 pounds. But my short-term goal is, I guess, to probably, by the time July gets here, I would like to lose 20 pounds. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I want to say 30, but I don't want to get too ambitious. But it'd be nice to lose 30 pounds by July. I don't know if I can do that. We'll see. Because I haven't really been exercising as much as walking. But I feel like if I start exercising along with this stuff, I'll probably lose like twice as much weight. So I think I'm just going to start trying to do that. There's tons of videos, exercising things on YouTube. Someone just gave me some weights. I'm start using those. So Yeah. Let me know if you are going through the same thing, if you have any goals that you want to complete this summer for weight loss, or for June, or if you're, if you're on a journey too, let me know about that. And if you have any tips for me, I would appreciate that. Let me know things that have worked for you. This woman at my son's school, I think she's a counselor. She told me that she told me about some drink with aloe and ginger and some stuff like that. I don't remember everything, but I'm gonna try to buy those ingredients. She told me it helped her to lose a lot of weight. So we'll see. I might check that out. And she said you drink it at night. It kind of like flushes you. So I'm gonna look into that, and I'll let you know if that does anything. I'll probably try to go purchase this stuff tomorrow, and I'll let you know what it was, because it's like 5 different things that you need. I'll put it in the description, so if you're interested in that. But I don't know if it's gonna work yet because I haven't tried it, but we'll see. I'm down for doing anything, because I don't feel comfortable being overweight. I like being slimmer. I feel a lot better. It feels easier on my joints and my body. I feel more lighter, and I like that feeling. I like when my face is slimmer. It makes me feel better. If you're happy with how you are, more power to you. But for anybody that wants to change, I hope that some of these tips that have worked for me will be helpful to you on your journey. And I just wish you the best of luck. Thanks for watching.